Welcome to Keeper of Secrets Tarot. I am Gypsy Girl here to bring you another reading for Capricorn. This is for April 2024 for the solar eclipse. Today is the 7th of April, and of course the eclipse is happening on the 8th. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe. Protecting me and keeping me safe. Capricorn, thank you for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares, and most of all for showing up. See what this eclipse is bringing in for you. I'm using the 6-card spread like I did for the lunar eclipse, where the first 3 cards is all about you and what Spirit is doing and the potential outcome. And then of course I do another layer for the next 3 cards as an alternative and possible change if it is not continuation of what the first 3 cards bring in. I'm not using the same deck as I did for the lunar eclipse. This is actually the Druid Craft deck. And the Oracle, it's a larger deck. The cards are pretty large, but I'm getting used to the shuffling. And the Oracle deck is not the Moonology, it is the Wild Woman Oracle deck, so that we could round off the reading and bring in that feminine strength for the listener. Depending on the situation, it could be very helpful. Capricorn, getting a calm sense. I think so far the water signs seem to take the cake on energetic energy, really strong energetic energy. The fire signs prove to be very excitable, but the water signs, they surprised me a little bit there. So I'm just curious what the earth signs are projecting for this eclipse. Again, I feel this sense of stillness. It's a good feeling, though. It's a good feeling. So the first card is all about you, Capricorn. Oh my, this is interesting. It's a repeat for, I can't remember now. But it's coming up quite often in a few of the reads, this card. But as the first card, it is similar to another read, and I don't want to guess. So enjoy the search looking if you're interested enough. But here you are, Capricorn, dealing with your circumstance in a form of healing. This is why I get this calm sense. You're mixing and you're melling and you're taking in everything that's handed to you and you're using it to your best ability with quite a bit of patience. This is why I have this calm sense flowing here. I was quite eager to do your reading coming off of the water signs, and I think this is why, because this is a healing energy, yeah? And you are in the midst of healing. Been hurt. If you have to heal, it's because something isn't right. Something shifted with the eclipse of the moon, if that is the case, or this is over a period of time where you've been going through your Saturn return, probably, or one of any planets returning and bringing in some kind of change that you have to work through. It's quite spiritual in the sense where it is spirit. In fact, this is a high arcana, so it's a protection. It's a form of protection, and you've earned it over lifetimes. You've earned this position now here in this lifetime to have this ability to heal whatever it is you're going through. It seems to be quite deep in the sense of suffering that you're healing it, but it is a slow process. It's been taking quite some time to come to this point. Let's see what Spirit is doing. Again, it is a second arcana, so it is destined. Again, referring to past lives. And I say that simply because we're dealing with the sun. And when we look at what the sun represents, it is our soul, and how many visits we've made to this plane brings us to a level of healing. And there's quite a few visits in order to have this level of healing. It's not to dispute, it's just to say that your soul would have had to go through quite a bit in order to come to the point of administering medicine. And here we have balance, which is what needs to come in. And this is where destiny is coming in for you, because you have put the effort to reach to the point where you are administering the medicine. So it is destined. It is destined what you have been going through, and to the point where you have reached now. Spirit is opening the door so that you could just walk right through, because you've done what it is you need to be done. And here we have the potential outcome for the first layer is justice will be served. Truth will be brought to the surface, and it is karmic. It is all three high arcana. So basically you are just along for the ride. What you have experienced, you've put effort in, where Spirit is now using you to heal and guiding you through that doorway to reach a karmic justice, because it cannot be avoided, whatever comes with this justice here. At the bottom of the deck we have a beginning, starting over, or a fresh new start, whether it is with someone you're with, or someone you're not with, or someone you're not in communication with, because it is for communication. Ace of Wands, justice, karma. It's a karmic connection that has to happen. It is for most likely a fire sign, if you have strong fire in your chart, because it represents Sagittarius. So you may be dealing with a Sagittarius, Aries, or a Leo, in fact, and where this justice comes in, it is meant to happen. What has taken place and what is about to take place is meant to happen. And here we have the Ace of Pentacles following. Oh my. So it is a question of wanting to make an offer, and being that this offer is either to end a cycle, bring down the burden, see, there's a burden here, burden of a victory. Burden of a victory. And of course with the victory there is an ego attached, because somebody wants attention, working out details, having a second chance, feeling a loss for work that was done in the past. There's a regret here for what was done in the past. This is why they want to start over. They want a fresh new start, because they're burdened. They're burdened, and this offer that comes is a conversation about stability, wanting to have a fresh start, healing, and walking through destiny, where the This is really led and brought in by spirit, because here it's all high arcana, right? This is really out of our hands when the high arcana cards step in. So looking at the way that the cards are shifting here, it is for someone to come back in. They want to make that offer. You see? They want to start, but there is a burden with this offer. It is the ego that is burdening this offer. And you are calm. This is why you're waiting, and you're going through the healing stages. You're not rushing into anything. You're allowing for the time to take its time to come in. It is divinely guided here, and the justice will be served. There will be conversation. It's unavoidable. This beginning here with the conversation, and then an offer for stability to come in. But it's the burden here. This burden needs to be put down. But it seems to be the burden is in the victory. Capricorn, it's very, very still. So we'll take a look now. We'll take a look now at the next layer to see what spirit is offering us here with this eclipse coming in. For Capricorn, we're going to shuffle and then cut again to see how alternatives or what is to come following possibility for opening up conversation. This karmic justice is going to be served, and healing is where you are, and you're not faltering. You're following spirits, being guided that way. There's no excitement here. It's very, very calm, very, very still. Just as the background in this card is very, very clear. It's very easy to see right through. So we have the Nine of Pentacles. We're healing, and we've done the work. We've earned the prize. Again, this is where you've come through many experiences, and you've come to the point where you are able to administer the healing potion. You've come through. You've done the work, and now you're at the point of taking it to the next level, because Spirit is opening that door, and you've merited. You're at the point of you need to see the completion, and this is where the healing comes in, to bring in that completion. Spirit is guiding. Spirit is guiding, leaving, going off and finding, or returning, because the first set of cards was to have an offer and have a conversation, but here we are seeing that Spirit is guiding, leaving, moving on, making that decision to go on after having earned. We want to see more. We're not staying in one place. We're moving. Again, this is the star. It'll do that. It's destiny. If you have to move on, you do move on. And if it is that you are satisfied, because it is a 9, we're moving back a step. So the satisfaction in what work has been done is brought on the healing, and then moving on. Again, it is in work, and whatever you do for work, because this is the Pentacles. But here we have the emotion, and then we have our sense of dealing with what we want, and what we want is not where we are. So we're looking to move on and find what it is we really want. And then the outcome to that is the Four of Swords. So, which would make a 5 with the Justice card here. Again, this is deep contemplation. Usually in the traditional deck, it is a question of having that conversation with the therapist. And in this deck, it is more of working through what has been said and what has been done, and how what is the last word to come now, because we're contemplating. We're not holding on to the swords. We're thinking about what was done, and this is why we want to move on. You see, because of what was said and done. And the justice in itself is to have that conversation or not to have that conversation, because this is potential outcome. Eh? You may or may not want to speak to the next person, or the person who may be coming back, because you're looking at why the moving on, why the moving ahead, why did they go, why will you go if it is that they left or you will leave. Again, this is mainly about you, but again, when spirit comes in, it's usually with other people involved, unless of course it's a higher arcana. And here we have another person, and we have another person here, and we have another person here. So it's dealing with other people, but again, this is a potential outcome. So when you have felt or decided, or again with these 3 cards on the bottom, choices is to stay where you are, to leave, or to think and talk and come back to, if it is the contemplation here is about leaving or coming back. I mean, it's a question of doubts, and not speaking is where the justice comes in, where you think about what you need to say and what you want to say. And here we have the 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands is in that contemplation, and then we see the Queen. Oh boy. So we're looking more into the healing sense here with our Queen of Cups, wanting to bring in that forgiveness and deal with this deliberation and mulling over, and not sure if you want to forgive. And again, it is based on ego, which is what we saw with the first cards. There is taking that charge and having that ego step in and having that mindset. Again, this is where Capricorn, I've seen that there was some static in the cards knocking together, trying to place the deck. But it seems here that deliberation is in the forgiveness, and an ego that is stubborn. It won't change, it won't shift. And here we have the Magician, again, the high arcana mixing in with the lower arcana. So it's quite difficult. This is where this healing and standing off alone comes in, because you are allowing spirit to guide your steps. And if it is that you feel that you have to leave, that is what you will do. The deliberation is in having that forgiveness and what will be done. If the forgiveness is had and the ego does not shift, then it's just for manipulation that this whole conversation is going to be taking place. And there it is where a cycle will come to an end with this ego, because action is going to be taken to make that shift. You see, it's a question of standing up and taking on that leadership with the forgiveness attached. And there is where the action for changing the mindset will come in. And then, of course, that cycle will come to an end. And the King of Cups will now have that that possibility to make amends with the Queen of Cups. And then here it is with the bringing things back into balance and having that completion where the devil will protect or stop. King of Pentacles. That ego is going to be blocked. It's really Capricorn, you have a test in front of you, and walking away is what Spirit will either guide you to do or to come back. I mean, it depends on your situation. If you were going through the lunar eclipse and you'd split from your partner, and time out means that you stood alone while they left, and now it is a question of, do we talk and come back, because you're deliberating on that, because there is an offer that they want to come and talk to you. We saw that in the first, where they wanted to come back and start afresh and bring in that stability. And then we see here with the King of Cups, with the ending of a cycle, through that stubbornness, action being taken. This Magician here is to really either manipulate or to work through, again, the testing here with the healing. Is it to manipulate or is it to heal? Because you are working through healing and you are not faltering. Spirit is guiding you every step you take. And if it is the Spirit needs you to leave, Spirit is going to take you away. You don't have to worry about what you will say or what you will do. The deliberation here is in the forgiveness. You see, being able to approach the ego and say, okay, I humble myself before you, I forgive you. How they react to that is where the cycle will end. And if it is that you leave, you leave. And then, of course, it is a question of the King of Cups recognizing that there is change that really does have to happen here behind the scenes, you see. And then the devil showing up, protecting the family, blocking this family from the King of Pentacles and the Queen there, that lady again going into stillness. So things are shifting around, and they will shift. And again, it is with this eclipse where true colors, the truth is in having that conversation. You will know if it is that it is to come back or it is to move along. And you're quite ready to stand alone and continue doing what you do on your own, because you're quite sufficient, self-sufficient, and you stand with Spirit healing you and giving you that sense and sensibility to make the right decision. And if it is you need to leave, then so be it. And if it is you need to come back, then it is through the conversation here that you will know. That deliberation, that double five, it's a give and take here. It's touch and go, because at some point it is who is going to speak and what is going to be said. I thank you, Spirit, for protecting and keeping the collective safe, protecting me and keeping me safe. Capricorn, I thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your shares. Most of all, for showing up. It's really, the eclipse is, both lunar and solar, are quite dramatic. I think the solar is very much more of that dramatic sense, because, well, I shouldn't say that. I do apologize. It's not comparison here. It's just the sun is where we see who we are. We come to know what we're made of. And here, Capricorn, you stand alone. You're quite capable of standing alone. You come with such an emotional connection here, again through Spirit, because unless you have water in your chart, you stand with that ability to mix water and earth, which is very, very, it makes you passionate. It makes you wholesome in that sense, where you're able to stand on water as well as on the ground, and have that sense of stability that the Spirit is seeing that you are worthy of in order to protect you. You see? So here we look at what Oracle card here will reflect you as Capricorn, the woman. And of course, if you are a male and you are looking at this, seeing that you feel that sense of wanting to return or wanting to come back, wanting your mate to come back, and you are sitting there thinking things out, if it is the best thing to go. Again, if you are taking on the form of the maiden here, it is because you have earned your emotional connection to relationship, because you wanting to heal. And it is understood. It's not just because it's a woman, a maiden here or a maiden there. It's only about women. No, it is what we embody in the energy. And here, the healing aspect is where the feminine qualities come in. And here, where this independence is, again, we see it as a feminine quality because it is in the strength of stability that we're able to provide. And the step before the Queen of Pentacles is where she would fit, not just as a knave, but it is having gone through so many experiences and being able to survive, coming through harsh times alone. Whereas the knave is a debutante, lady in waiting, if you will. Whereas she is a worker, someone who stands alone, has stood alone for quite some time, and is able to stand alone and be able to embody the strength to heal. You see? Being that she is able to allow Spirit to guide her. Now, again, if it is that you are a male and you are fitting into this reading as that person who has lost, because we did see the Five of Cups coming in here. You could be the one, if you are a male, you could be the one that's tempering your ego with the elixir here. You could be the one that's trying to bring in the balance, to have that happiness at home, to come back to surrender yourself to your queen. If it is that you are a male and you want to start and have a conversation and build a home and come back to, because you feel it is your destiny, that you want to come back to your partnership, then you would fit in here. And the feminine qualities is that emotional connection that you have with Spirit. So what is the Oracle card? And then we see Persephone, maturity, which is beautiful because it would take, and at the bottom of the deck, I am whole, wholeness. Okay, so here again, it relating to changing and maturing and growing out of and changing the mindset and tempering the ego. Again, if this is fitting for the male, this is very fitting for the male. If you are a male watching this, knowing that you have to take action to end a cycle, and knowing that you have to come in with all of what you can muster as emotion, and being that you have secrets that you need to come now and declare and tell the truth and speak with your queen, who will deliberate and take charge. See, taking charge, making that decision, making that Six of Wands come back to be victorious and change the mindset. Persephone, she was taken away. So if you go and look into the Greek mythology, you'll see her story. She was taken away. This is where spirit is either guiding you to go, or the partnership to be taken away. She was taken. I won't go into that. That's something that's, well, let's see what it comes out in the book here, because it is maturity. It is about growing up. And again, the maturity, that tempering is a sign of maturity. It's a sign of growing up and standing on your own, and being able to manage, and being able to walk away, being able to say, this is not for me. That is maturity. Not sitting on the fence to the point where you fall off. You're either making the move or you're not. You can't be sitting on the fence for the rest of time. You have to choose. And that is the maturity. And being able to choose. And this is where the forgiveness will come. All right. So the 19, Persephone. This is interesting. It's quite it's like a real left turn here compared to, again, I don't want to compare, but the energy, it's quite mellow, which is quite pleasing at this point. 19. Sorry, I'm not able to move fast enough here. Let's see, 19, Persephone, maturity. In what ways have I been stunting? In what ways have I been stunting my own growth and journey to maturity by overly catering to the needs, desires, and expectations of others? There it is. Knowing when to say enough is enough. You see, balance. And the Two of Pentacles here is serving the two masters. Where was that? There it is. King of Cups here. Serving two masters. Finding that it's not possible. Well, it's not possible for long. You see, you have to make choices, and it is in decision processing that we grow and we become mature, because we have to stand at some point and take control and say, no, this is the way it's going to go. This is the Emperor. Again, tempering that ego, having my own way all the time, being stubborn, not wanting to bend. That's why Persephone was taken. Anyway, let's not go into that. But you can look it up if you're deeply interested. And the Magician here is where you take that step forward and make the change and really grow. Persephone asks you to reflect on how you may be putting your own growth and well-being aside due to the expectations and desires of others. Find the balance between your own needs and the needs of others as true maturity. True evolution from the nameless maiden to the queen is found in being able to thoroughly enjoy the joys of relationship and companionship, while simultaneously standing in your own truth with power, confidence, and grace. It's funny, because this is the nameless maiden, the 9 of Pentacles. It's so funny that it's fallen there exactly with this card. See, the Greek myth Persephone was known as Corn, meaning nameless maiden, in the maiden goddess of spring, who is abducted by the god Hades and taken to the underworld against her will. Her mother, Demeter, goddess of the harvest and fertility, searches tirelessly for her daughter and demands that she be returned to her. Ultimately, Persephone must spend half the year in the underworld with Hades as his queen, and half the year walking the earth's surface as the goddess of spring with her mother Demeter. as core. Persephone represents the archetypical maiden who does not yet know who she is, what strengths she possesses, and she truly desires, what she truly desires, or what she stands for. Like many women at some point in their life, Core is overly receptive and vulnerable to the projections and expectations of those around her. Her well-meaning yet overprotective mother and her controlling husband in the myth, Core, the eternal girl, transforms into Persephone, the mature woman who speaks her truth regardless of whether it displeases others, sets clear boundaries even if it brings about uncomfortable conversations, and chooses to be whole rather than good or perfect. That's who she is. Now, of course, she is represented in other decks as the knave. I know in the Celestial Tarot she's represented there, that Greek deck. But here, this maiden has experienced and acquired and gone through so much on her own, harsh times, like Persephone, that she is mature enough that she can walk away and say, no, this is not for me. She can say, you know what, I will forgive you, but I'll still leave. Or I'll forgive you, but I won't do it again. You know what I mean. It comes with standing up and taking that charge, and yet having that gentle, loving, tender care that she is still able to provide. Balance. Again, this is not taking anything away from the males, but as females go, Persephone, it would be you. Now, the type of woman that you males who have been put through your circumstance of being left or having to leave because of overbearing partnerships where you find that you're being controlled, or there is imbalance, because that is what was the situation with the Two of Pentacles showing up here, saying that needs to come back into balance. You see, this is where the type of woman that you would be prone to reach for, having gone through your experiences, is Persephone. Let's see what I am whole. So wholeness. So to finish off with what to round off the reading, I mean, with I am whole. The wholeness is because, again, it comes back to Persephone, where she could stand on her own and be whole and not have to depend on someone else. And this is where, for the males, I say that this is the kind of woman that can give you your space and let you have your space and not be controlling and demanding over you. Because if she is whole within herself, she is able to function on her own, and you are able to function on your own. And in there you have the balance with the Two of Pentacles, because neither of you is bucking for ego. You see, with the King of Cups here, he wants to bring back the balance. If it is you, the male watching this, you want to bring back the balance. So let's see the 30, I am whole. And then we'll call it a day for the Capricorn reading. Let's see 30. Dealing with the ego, it's quite tricky, that. What qualities or desires have I repressed into my shadow because as a child I thought they made me bad? And how can I compassionately integrate them? This is a good one. You are being called to lovingly descend into the realm of the shadow, as there are parts of you that are yearning to be seen and held. Consciously bring together all you find within your depths, not for the sake of attaining perfection, but wholeness, which is the ultimate path to enlightenment. You see, you have to accept the good and the bad. Again, this is the deliberation of the forgiveness with this Five of Wands here. Because we're dealing with a very stubborn mindset. You see the ego here, connecting here with this Eight of Swords, where you're set in your ways. You don't want to change, or they don't want to change, whomever you want to get away from, or who has left or wanting to come back now, because they realized that it is them. Again, with this eclipse coming in, they have to, or you have to, depending on where you fit into this situation. And somebody is holding their ground, not wanting to change. And Spirit is saying, well, you're going to change. Somebody is going to change. And now when I say somebody, whomever, if things don't change, somebody is leaving. And this is all about you, Capricorn. If you are saying, well, I'm doing my best here and I'm tempering myself, my own ego, and the next person, if they want to come back, well, they have to do the same, because that is where balance will come in. And you won't know until you have the conversation in the first place. And this is where Spirit is setting it up so that you don't have to worry. You already know what your walking papers look like. If it is that what they're coming back with is not what will bring in balance. And if it is that it's going to bring in balance, well, there it is. You will have maturity and you will have wholeness, because you'll be able to face the weaknesses, and that stubbornness will fall into forgiveness with the emotional connection that you both will have. And on that note, I thank you for showing up, for your likes, your subscribes, and your shares. Until our next read, Capricorn, love and light.